Welcome to the McAllister Report. We join John McAllister, top football evaluator, as he shares wisdom and interviews coaches and athletes from around the country. Enjoy today's podcast.
Hello, I'm John McAllister with the John McAllister Report. Today, and around the state, we're going to take a look at the Upper Sandusky Rams football program preseason information. It's been a really good conversation with head coach Russell Hall. Russell, I think, has been a head coach now going into his 6th year maybe, but he's enthusiastic. He's knowledgeable, and he cares a lot about the Upper Sandusky Rams football program. I don't get a chance to see him play very much, or I guess maybe don't make a chance because I'm all over the state watching players. But I'm a Ram, so I always try to hear the reports from Davy Jones as soon as I get in the area, and always think about the Rams. So if you'll sit back and enjoy my conversation with head football coach Russell Hall. Today, my guest is Russell Hall, the head football coach of the Upper Sandusky Rams. I have tremendous respect for him. He stayed with the program, and it's getting better every year, and that's important. Russ, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
I talked to you yesterday, and you told me how exciting it was.
Yeah. This is it's a lot of fun this year. We don't quite have the 55, 60 guys that we seem to have had the last 5 years previous. We're in the high 40s there, and every single one of them, they show up every day to work. A big blue collar group. Their energy is great. Their focus is great. Their effort is great. And what makes it fun is they're like sponges when it comes to be coachable. Mr. McAllister, it's just fantastic. As a coach, I'm sure, everyone talked to, coaches always have favorites. Well, my favorites are the kids that work hard and are coachable, and keep getting better. And I'm fortunate right now from top to bottom, that's pretty much our roster, all June, and, the July, the install camp days, and even yesterday getting the first 2-a-day under our belt. We were a better team when we left yesterday after the second practice than when we came. So.
The other thing I would tell you, I know this will get people shaken, not other sports, but I think football, the more and more I sit back and watch all level programs, I think football players give up an awful lot to play football.
Yeah.
They give up a lot of free time. They give up their summers. They give up hot weather. They give up cold weather. Of course, I'm an old football coach, but I think they really give up a lot of time.
And it's definitely a big commitment. And that being said, as a coach and trying to help them out, knowing that they give up so much time, we practiced one Friday in all of June and July, and we had every Saturday and Sunday off. And I feel that's important. And talking to we have a leadership team where there's representatives from the senior, junior, and sophomore class, and it's something that we felt was important, and they felt was important, to be a kid in the summertime. We work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, either lifting or a practice, and that's what we ask. And like I said before, this group that we have now, it's kind of a special group when it comes to work ethic. That they're put the time in. Like, all right, well, we'll be here and we'll do what you say, and we'll work as hard as we can, and let's keep getting better. So that's fun.
Someday it's coming, because they've changed practice habits and things like that and contact. But someday they'll realize maybe we should give these kids a little rest once in a while. I don't think they're going to lose too much by missing a day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think it's important. Well, one more question. I was a head football coach. I signed the contract when I was 24. I was probably too young, but I could teach English, and I had two great recommendations. So, But tell me, you were a young guy. How much did you learn after the first year?
It's every year. It's every year, John. Yeah. Looking back, just like you said, were you probably ready? I was looking at myself and
first year.
Yeah, my very first year. And that was the thing, talking to my wife, I knew as a head coach, it would be a lot more time and commitment and hours. And a funny story is my wife said how. Before I was a head coach, I tried to be the best assistant coach I could be. One of the first ones there, last ones to leave, help any kid, any position, etc. So when I applied and got it, my wife says, well, it can't be that much more time. And that's something, it actually surprised me a little bit how much more it is. I truly believe if at all possible, the head coach should be the first one there, the last one to leave, make sure everything's set up, everyone's on the same page. And, it was a big eye opener. And the paperwork that the head coaches have to do nowadays, it's a lot. It's a lot more. I knew there would be some, but there's a lot. And it's the same thing too, scheduling practices and things like that. And that's something I've learned a ton. And my wife has learned and become much, much more patient. I'm blessed. Ever since I was dating my wife, I was coaching football at some level. So she knew come, July and August, September and October, she's pretty much going to be on her own, and she's okay with that. And over the years since that first year, she's really realized the commitment. And the cool thing is she's okay with it and supports it. But I would say the time, the time that it takes to do it right.
But here's the key. As the head coach, you can shut down the meetings when you want to.
Oh, absolutely.
You can cancel. You can do anything you want to because you're the head coach. So that's really good. Okay, let's talk football. Let's talk the Rams.
Yeah.
You guys finished what? 4-3 in the conference, right? Something like that. 5-6
sounds about right.
4-3. I've got it in front of me, so I'm cheating.
Yeah.
But what does it take to improve on that record? 4-3 in the conference. I'm sorry.
4-3 in the conference.
So the conference is pretty balanced, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic conference, Northern 10 from top to bottom.
What makes it fantastic to you?
Number one, it's the skill level of the kids. Even at the smallest schools, they've got great linebackers. I tell our kids, it's not just our off-season programs. Every team has great linebackers.
Right.
Every team seems to have really good safeties, has really good D linemen, O-line. There's not that one team that talent-wise is just way different. And that's fantastic. And coaching, from top to bottom, you've got to put the work in as a coach, regardless of the record or you're going to be looking at the scoreboard going, what's going on here? It's just a great, smaller school. We're one of the bigger schools as one of the smallest D4 teams in the state, sometimes float to D5, but I would say, talent level and commitment of the kids, in the entire league, as well as, just great coaching makes it just a great football program. So extremely competitive.
It's so smart getting and creating that N10. The NOL was obviously a well-storied league and all this stuff back in the day, and I played back in the middle 60s and stuff, and it was so tough back then, NOL. And then, Upper would have a good year, a few down years and come back. But I'm glad you're in the N10. And the Cary coach told me this morning, he said, he said that Upper Sandusky distance between Cary and Upper Sandusky, it's closing after last year. He said, boy, I don't know. So that's really a good sign. And I think part of that is the consistency of coaches and the head coach. I think that's well for you. Now, were you an assistant coach for how many years?
Yeah, I was an assistant coach for a decade at the varsity level. Okay. And I did 1 year at junior high when I first came to the school.
Okay.
So,
So you understand the Upper Sandusky community and the Upper Sandusky, kids and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Rural
that's
type
one of the
kids.
big reasons why, when the job was open after Chris Rodriguez era there ended, that I sat down and talked to Kim, and one of our big, Kim's my wife, for those watching. One of the big reasons why I wanted to apply was not, to be honest, I never wanted to be a head coach. I wanted to be the best assistant coach I could be. But talking to Kim, it was the work ethic of the kids, the desire of the kids. I truly believe that the community, wants to have a winning, strong program, not necessarily 10-0. I mean, obviously everyone would love that, but to be competitive year in and year out. You're not always going to have, the top athletes, the top linemen in the league and stuff, but with work, off-season work and weight room work and work ethic, you could be competitive, every single week in and week out. And that's just something that I felt that the Upper Sandusky boys have, at the high school. I think that there's a great work ethic, and they want to be good. And it's really shown, this year has magnified the desire, the work ethic, the yes, sir, yes, coach, no coach, that sort of thing of that work ethic. And it's great to see it slowly moving forward. You were mentioning the NOL. I was an assistant the last couple of years, and unfortunately, the talent level in the NOL became pretty skewed. You had the top teams that were just really, really, really good. I remember playing Tiffin Columbia in that last year, and they had a tailback. Once he got to the linebacker level, his speed, we just couldn't compete. That's the nice thing about the Northern 10. We're all small schools, and it's nice the distance. The boys know each other from the different sports. The parents know each other.
What seniors are coming back? Let's just run through a list real quick, early list of seniors, if you could.
Yeah, so we have Caden Holman coming back, quarterback and safety. We have Ethan Hill and Gavin Fry coming back as receivers and defensive backs. We have Damon Ward coming back as a running back and inside linebacker. We have Chase Teal coming back as a running back and inside linebacker as well. We have Ethan Compton coming back out to football after taking a year off as an O-line and D-line. And we have Martin West as an O-line and D-line. Noah Hale is back out for football as well with a year off as a running back. He played some tailback for us, probably 6-7 of the games as a sophomore. And then he took the year off. Last year, came back this year. He's doing well at tailback and defensive line for us. And then Landon Lamb is joining us. He'll be a first-year high school football player. He's friends with several of the guys on the team. And, I warned him ahead of time that football, when you've never played it, it's like a foreign language. It's going to sound really confusing for a few weeks until it starts sounding familiar and making more sense. And he's doing a great job of taking that to heart and taking the coaching and everything like that. So, it's not a huge senior class, but, they're leading by example. Like I said, every single one of those guys works hard, gives fantastic effort, and does things right.
Oh, that's really good. It's really good. Any juniors? Or you mentioned I don't know the kids, so any juniors? Sophomores, about to be juniors?
Yeah. So those guys coming back at center, we have Jacob Lucart. He's our one returning full season offensive lineman. We have Ben Taylor. Unfortunately, he was injured week 1 there, so he missed out on the rest of the year, and he's back. Playing offensive line for us and doing a fantastic job. Max Martinez and Caleb Francis are juniors. They're doing really good in the secondary for us on defense and receivers on offense there. So those are some big contributors from the junior class.
That's good. How do you, Coach, how do you handle the winter program? Just real quickly, because I want to go on to something else. But how do you handle the winter? The winter
absolutely.
program, the off season is where it's all about. I mean,
to
me, that makes or breaks.
Absolutely. So I encourage kids, go wrestle, go play basketball, go swim. Number one, those teams lift during their sport, so they'll still get lifting. They'll get plenty of conditioning, that's for sure. Our basketball team, if you see them play, we really push the tempo. Our wrestling program, they practice really well, really fast. And then swim, talking to many of the kids that have played football, they push themselves to the limit there. Our swim program's really done a fantastic job. But then I asked the kids, if you're not able to go compete and help our school in the winter, we expect you to be at the weight room, if at all possible, and we'll work with you. I'm fortunate. We lift after school, but I have an assistant coach that'll open it up before school for kids that have jobs after school, so that they can continue to work. And our winter workouts were fantastic for attendance. It was great. A lot of the same we're seeing now, showing up, putting in the work.
Briefly, what part of football gets you the most excited?
Right now it's defense. I was fortunate enough to play in college. In football, it was a great vehicle for me to go to college, without football. And there's nothing wrong with working in a factory. My dad worked and retired from working in a factory. My older brother works in a factory. There's nothing wrong with that, John, which but that's probably where I'd be. But with football as a vehicle, it gave me the opportunity to keep playing after high school and college. And I played on the defense, learned a lot, not just about my own, position, but we watched film together a ton year round. So I learned a lot of linebacker play and safety play and corner play and things like that. So that gets me honestly the most excited.
Last question, Coach, and it's been really informative. Okay, what is it going to take for your team to be successful this fall?
The next play mentality.
Successful is a crazy word now. You can define it a lot of ways.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. To be successful is to me, it's playing team football, not selfish football, playing together as a unit, having each other's back. Somebody sprains an ankle, breaks a shoestring, needs a new mouthpiece. The next guy's in, he's ready to go. He's focused. To me, that's successful. That being said, I think for us to take that next step, because we've done a good job of that, I believe the last couple of years, to take that next step is to really buy into that next play mentality. It's something I've told this team probably 3 times this year already, and it's early, so they're going to hear it more. I played 7th, junior high school, college. I never played a perfect game. I said, it just doesn't happen. No. I said, and you have to have that next play mentality. Whether you're a lineman and you miss one block, you can't let that one missed block carry over to that second play. Yeah. If you're a receiver, you run a wrong route, or you have your hands, you blink at the wrong time, or who knows what. You've got to have that next play mentality. You're a quarterback, you're a corner. You've got to have, a short memory. The most important play in football, I let them know, is that next play.
Coach, I really appreciate you taking the time. I really appreciate learning more about you and then the kids ahead. And I don't get to see many Upper Sandusky games because I travel so much, although I'm slowing down with that. And hopefully to see a couple games this fall, okay?
Yeah. Yep. And you're welcome at practice anytime, John. Anytime. You're bored, you want to come out and watch, you got many years of experience. I've got soft skin. You want to come out and see something and say, Coach, why are you doing this and not this? I'm all ears. I'm always trying to learn and get better.
I want to mention one thing, and I think that if Caden Holman wasn't a really, 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 really good baseball player, he would surprise colleges with his quarterback skills. And if he didn't play quarterback, I think he could be a free safety. He really, saw him at a camp last winter, and he does a good job. And I may come just to see him play a little bit. I know he's a baseball guy. He's done a really, really good job. But there's what you're talking about, 2 sport guys, because he's such an athlete. I think he played basketball, might go back. I don't know that. But I know, and that's what we really are looking for. You said something about kids playing multi-sports.
Yes.
And I think it's important because we're looking for athleticism, athletes. And, offensive linemen have to be athletes now. They can't have those most guys can't have those big fat ankles and and heavy, too heavy.
Yeah.
And they got to be athletic. They got to be able to play other sports. That really helps.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay.
See ya.